Yeah, Alan Roberts back at you. I'm live and solo again today because my counterpart Mark Lobliner is down in Florida doing the Luke Gronkowski show, and then I believe he's going to be on Eliza Schaefer's show tomorrow. Busy man. So I am the live out in the woods redneck, one of the two of us. So I'm going to be here most times. He actually goes out and does shit. Not that I don't, but you know what I'm saying. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit. Not going to be probably super long, probably about 45 minutes, but I did want to talk about some of the things that are happening today that I think are extremely relevant. Of course, we're going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz being nominated she's the director of national intelligence, and he is going to be the attorney general. We also have the defense director, the secretary of defense, who the left, by the way, seems to hate all of these people. The left cannot seem to stop saying like, well, of course he's choosing idiots, and I've seen like what's her name, Whoopi Goldberg talking about crazy shit and how it's ridiculous that we should be nominating these people. I just want to remind everybody of something really, really, really quickly, right? When you voted for this, you don't get to like make decisions about other people's shit. You don't get to like sit in judgment as other people talk. Like I believe the bald-headed whacknut there literally had like nuclear codes and was charged of our nuclear energy and shit, and ended up being fired because they were a compulsive thief stealing luggage and wearing the clothing that it found in the luggage. I did not make that up. Like the bald one had like a job in our nuclear energy department, and also literally had like decided that they were just going to steal people's luggage. And of course then we have the mentally deranged person that is supposedly the health expert on physical and mental health, the transgender dude, Richard Levine. We have Peter Buttigieg. I can never pronounce his name, nor do I even fucking try to pronounce his name. I believe he's the fucking idiot that, how often did he fuck up? Oh, and then there is the not answer any questions, whatever her name is. You guys, the most inept crew of people ever. Our current like Secretary of Defense is a complete ass fucking moron and coward who is like so afraid of a fucking cold that he had like a visor and masks and like triple masking. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you children do not get to fucking sit and like, you can sit however the fuck you want. Actually, you can do whatever you want. You can sit in judgment, but you don't get to sit in judgment of adults being picked to do adult jobs when you were all for this shit. When you were all for this shit right over here, you don't get to fucking be taken seriously, likely ever the fuck again. Like, you're going to sit in judgment and think like this was good. And Kamala Harris wanted everybody to be more woke. Like, more woke than this? Like, more woke than this? Are we fucking serious? More woke than that? Get the fuck out of here. All of you. It's insane. It's totally, completely whacknut. I don't even understand how in the hell anybody could possibly take that shit seriously. I don't. I just don't. Like, this person being in charge of health, this slobbingly fat, mentally ill man being in charge of health for our country might explain why we're fat as fuck as a country and why type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, cardiovascular disease, cancers are all skyrocketing. Because Whacknut here chose more to worry about kids getting their boobs cut off than he did about making sure, he did his goddamn job. But that's a lot of the picks in the Biden administration. I will say this, though. I love the fact that today was the day that Joe Biden had to welcome President Trump. And look at this. This is also Luke Gronkowski. This is the show that Mark was on tonight. I've been on Luke's show before too. It's had an amazing time. And when I'm down in Florida again, I will give you a ring. But look how fucking happy Joe Biden is. Look at these. Look at this. Like, look how elated this dude is. Look how super, super happy Joe Biden is right now. Like, Trump's looking at him like, are you okay? But look how happy he is. Look at this. Just smiles. All smiles. I think that Biden voted for Trump. I'm just going to put it out there. And I'm not even like, I joke a lot, but I'm not joking about this. I believe Biden voted for Trump. You need to get back on We Are Change. I have an open invitation. Like, I'm not in Florida as much anymore, and I don't travel as much anymore. Probably soon though. But I have an open invitation. Luke's been amazing to me and everybody else. So I have an open invitation to come back, and I will likely be back down there within the next couple months. So that's where it's at. It's not like I'm just not going on, or he's not having me on. He gave me an open invitation because he's awesome, dude. But we got a lot of shit rolling today. Let's take a look at some other stuff, shall we? Let's see here. There's that. Oh, look, here is Tulsi Gabbard. Thank you, at Real Donald Trump, for the opportunity to serve as a member of your cabinet to defend the safety, security, and freedom of the American people. This is the former co-chair of the DNC. Just so you guys realize, on the left, she could have been your president. She could have been your nomination. She would have had a much better chance against Trump than the fucking person you guys, well, I would say the person you nominated, but you didn't. The person that was installed for you, motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. I love it. So here we go. Let's take a look at this. This is something I came across that I loved, by the way. Tucker Carlson calls for an immediate repeal of the 1986 Vaccine Injury Act. Fuck to the yeah. Fuck yeah. That is amazing. It's wild to me. Like, there should be no immunity clause for any type of pharmaceutical, especially one that it's really like, when you think about how vaccines and stuff like that are made, how drugs are made, it's wild, because you know where most of the funding for their research comes from? Taxes, our taxes. The NIH gifts these people incredible amounts of money to do research on drugs and diseases that they then charge us for the drugs. Wild, right? But if it's so safe and effective, right? If the vaccine from COVID was safe and effective, you don't need a liability shield. So this would strip Big Pharma of its liability shield, making them accountable for injuries caused by their products. In fact, Carlson called the vaccine enterprise, particularly the COVID vaccine, a scam, and here's why. You convince politicians to force the population to buy your product. Anyone who complains gets fired. You can't be sued. I'm sorry, but that's messed up. And I love that Tucker Carlson did this. I believe we're still waiting to hear who is going to be the press secretary. I think it would be pretty interesting if he would choose, Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. I think it would be really interesting if he chose Alex Jones. I think that would be hilarious. Like, for full comedic effect, I can absolutely see the left completely melting down if Alex Jones would be the whatchamacallit. So, and somebody's saying that the Senate confirmation hearings are going to be interesting. I believe that they're doing recess appointments. Thomas Massey said that that's what's going to happen. Now, they didn't have the leader of the Senate is not the pick that everybody wanted, but it doesn't mean that he's not going to go along, because he's reading the writing on the wall. Anyway, let's go back here. That's from yesterday's stuff. Trump announces Representative Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. God, that's fucking huge. Fucking huge. I did see on the TikTok that people are having a hard time with both Matt Gaetz and because Matt Gaetz is one of the people that said, like, I don't be offended. I don't care. Perfect, because that's how it should be. But I do think people are having more of a problem with the Secretary of Defense. They're like, oh, he nominated a Fox News weekend analyst. Like, why is he qualified? Well, he's qualified because he was in the 101st Airborne in Iraq. And, that he was a counterinsurgency trainer in Afghanistan. He had been in the military like 20-some years. He was a major. It's not like he was just on Fox News because he wasn't qualified to talk about the military. It's just like wild stuff like that. Like, you're going to question this guy who was in the military, literally taught people counterinsurgency, has 2 Bronze Stars and an infantry combat medal, been in war. He's not qualified, but the bald dude to run nuclear power that was stealing luggage, totally qualified. The dude wearing the dress who's morbidly obese is the health secretary, and you folks somehow think that you are sitting in a place to judge who is qualified or not. You guys are fucking crazy lunatics. So the scorecard so far, Elon and Vivek are going to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. That is excellent. That could save us trillions of dollars. Tulsi as DNI, that's an A. Gaetz as AG, that's an A. Homan on Board Czar, that's an A. Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, C-. I don't know why he thinks that, but I like Clint stuff. I like that he's going to purge the woke crap, but he's a hawk, so to be determined. Radcliffe, CIA Director, D. I also agree with that. And Rubio, F. I agree with that too. That's I would have much preferred Tulsi Gabbard be the Secretary of State and Rubio retire. But we'll see. We'll see. So look at this guy. Jim Jordan says U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Alexander Mayorkas should be tried for treason, tried for what is happening at the southern border. I agree, 100%. He absolutely should. He should be arrested, and he should be tried for treason. One of the 3 main functions of our federal government, people, is to secure our border. He should be tried for treason. He was in charge of it. He should be tried for treason. I would absolutely love that. 300 and some odd thousand children missing at the southern border. I mean, what the hell? All the Jim Bros patiently waiting to see if RFK gets to run the health agencies. I tell you what, he better fucking do it. Like, Trump better fucking do it. That's all I got to say. He better. He better. And Carrie Lake, somebody said Carrie Lake would be a great press secretary. I believe she would too, but I think that they're like, I hope we recount some of these places. And I mean, dear leftists, you guys are saying recount. Please do recount. Please do. Especially the states that take a week to count a quarter of the votes that Florida counted in 5 hours. Please recount everywhere. We should, as I always state, we should absolutely recount every federal election. Like every Congress member, president, every federal election should be recounted every time. And let's see. Adam Kinzinger for Tulsi Gabbard. That's a very good trade. Very, very, very good trade. Let's see. And people just doing their normal things. Breaking. A federal appeals court has ordered CNN to stand trial in a defamation lawsuit involving James O'Keefe and Project Veritas. They're done. CNN's over. CNN is done. They have massive layoffs going on right now already. Massive budget cuts because their fan base, they have no more power. MSNBC, it's wild to watch like Joy Reid still talk shit like anybody. Like, your power is gone. You race baiting piece of shit. Your power is gone. So please do stick with MSNBC and CNN. Like, what I find funny is you'll see people on the left, like these people on the left, or MSNBC or something like that, and then they'll try to go it on their own, like Don Lemon and the fucking Brian Stetzler, the fucking Pugsley looking fucking kid. But like he's like if you like if Pugsley was bald. Anyway, but they try to break out on their own, thinking that they're going to be able to do what Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and all these people did. The only one that really has done anything of of value has been Chris Cuomo, and that's because he pivoted to the middle, almost to the right. Like that's because he pivoted to being moderate and almost to the right. You're not like Joy Reid is going to have literally people by this time in like 3 or 4 years. We won't even remember who the fuck she was. She will just be a blip in history. Like, oh my God, what a racist piece of shit that wears weird fucking wigs. That's what we'll think about her. So good for James O'Keefe. Let's see. Elon Musk, the party Senate candidate in Pennsylvania, is trying to change the outcome of election by counting non-citizen votes, which is illegal. See, this is what we got to do. We got to be on them because they don't give a shit about the country. If you are counting illegal aliens, if you are counting non-citizens in the federal election, you should be arrested and tried for treason. This is not hard. This is not hard at all whatsoever. I don't even know how people don't seem to understand that. This is not hard at all whatsoever. I love my comments. I love them. I filled up my car today with gas, and it was the cheapest it's been in many years. That's everybody else noticing gas prices all of a sudden plummeting also. Food prices are already plummeting. It's wild. Like you go on TikTok right now, and this is no shit. They're still losing their minds. Like losing their minds, right? And they're acting like, oh my God, Trump's plans are coming to fruition and it's going to be horrible. And look, it's already bad. Like, what is bad about this shit? Like people, like world leaders are calling to like start peace talks and shit. We've been at war and they want the war to be over because Trump is coming in. He said a weird statement that like resonated with me. Though not weird, but he said an interesting quote that resonated with at one point in time, because I personally know this feeling, right? Because a lot of time, like, he said that, people said my personality was going to get us into World War III, but my personality is actually what kept us out of war. That's fucking true. That is fucking true. Nobody wants to fuck with him because they know he'll fucking go all out. I resonate with that. I feel that shit. That makes me happy. I don't want people thinking that they can fuck around without finding out. Because if they think that they can fuck around without finding out, then they're just going to keep fucking around. But if they know that they're going to find out if they fuck around, they won't fuck around because they don't want to fucking find out. Goddamn. But I'm very interested to see how this week goes. Tulsi Gabbard is somebody that I've been very happy that's been a part of the administration. I am very pleased, by the way, extremely, extremely, extremely pleased to wait and hear. I feel very confident that he is going to put RFK in charge of health where it's supposed to be. He's said it multiple times. So I just waiting to expect where it's coming from, like what position he's actually going to be in. He should be in charge of Health and Human Services, frankly, because then he's in charge of the CDC, the FDA, everybody. And I hope that that's what comes to fruition, or put him in charge of several. Very frankly, we don't need the CDC. The CDC should just be shuttered almost immediately, because frankly, I can argue that they are just a money suck. Because they don't do the actual intended thing. Like their name is the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. What diseases have they controlled and prevented in the entire lifetime of the CDC being a thing? None. As a matter of fact, I think it's a pretty close correlation that if you look when the CDC came into existence, that's when obesity, chronic illness, cancers all started flying up, like skyrocketing. Like there's visible proof that the government wants you fat, sick, weak, and dependent, and the CDC has a lot to do with that. It looks like the Florida Surgeon General is being pushed for Health and Human Resources Secretary, very possibly. Then put RFK in charge of the FDA and or CDC and or NIH. We could get rid of the NIH, by the way, too. The NIH is a money laundering scheme for pharma. Get this, like. the NIH gives out billions of our dollars to companies to research, not even companies, but they do the research for the drugs for the companies. And then they absolutely basically then make people pay for the medicines. Like, we pay for the research for our own medications. Fucking shouldn't happen. We don't need the NIH. Fuck the NIH. We don't need the NIH, the CDC. The FDA needs to not approve shit. They need to be able to suggest shit. Who gives a fuck? The government should not determine what you get to do with your body. Ever. The government definitely shouldn't be like, hey, this plant is a Schedule 1 drug or whatever that you can't grow at your house without being arrested. Fuck that shit. Who the fuck are you to tell people what they can grow at their house? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for people to do it. I'm not advocating for people to grow marijuana, smoke marijuana, do anything like that. But I'm saying the government shouldn't be able to tell you fucking not to. We should all have personal responsibility. If you fuck your life up because you're addicted to food, because you're addicted to drugs or something like that, it's up to you to pull yourself the fuck up. But we should be able to do whatever the fuck we want to do. We're free people, right? Somebody's asked me what I think about Joseph Ladapo. I love him. He's my Florida Secretary of Health. He was one of the first people to say we're going to try to just be healthy and work on losing weight, getting sunlight, getting exercise, eating whole foods. He was against masks. He was against the vaccine. He was against all those things. I think he's awesome. I just don't know if I think he could help RFK, but RFK has the right things in mind, whereas I don't know if he does. I mean, just because he agrees with me on how the COVID stuff was handled, I don't know if he has the political chops to be able to make the shit happen that we need to make happen, which is make it so drug companies cannot advertise on TV, make it so that ultra processed foods are massively down-regulated and made almost, to be seen as something that shouldn't be taken in anyway. Strict the whole foods, get the farmers back up on their feet, that sort of thing. So that is my thoughts on him. If it's between him and RFK to be HHS director, I'm going to pick RFK. Not that I don't like him or not, but they're saying RFK might not be able to pass the Senate confirmation because of his anti-vax views, but who knows? That would be a mistake. That would be a big mistake. That would piss a lot of fucking people off. A lot of people off. And his anti-vax views, as long as the Republicans nominate him, I think it's pretty fucking good. Because the anti-vax, there shouldn't be any anti-vax bullshit at all. Vaccines, the COVID vaccine is literally not safe, not effective, and it is for a cold. The risk-reward ratio for it is stupid. It's not even fucking close to being appropriate. Like, you can get myocarditis or the sniffles. And it's been shown myocarditis is not caused by the COVID virus. It's caused by the COVID vaccine. So, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I understand it. Nobody wants to admit that they were a fucking idiot when it came to COVID. But if you were terrified of a cold to the point where you fucking injected an experimental gene therapy produced by historically corrupt companies in a historically corrupt industry that had full liability protection, that you were not even allowed to fucking question, that they weren't even going to release their study data on safety for 75 fucking years. If you convinced yourself to get multiple shots of that, you're an idiot. Now, I understand if you needed to do it for work, I still would have, personally, I would have been like, okay, looks like I got to find different work. I'll dig ditches. I don't give a fuck. But so I kind of understand. You got a family to feed. I get it. But I am going to say very fucking clearly, if you're one of those dumbass people out there that's on their fucking 12th booster, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. You are stupid as fuck. Even if you're like at this age, I wonder if it's even appropriate for elderly people. Like, I really do. I wonder if it's even appropriate for elderly people. But like I said, I'm not going to be on long today, guys. I just wanted to go over one or two more things that coming down the line. And that is about it. So like I said, short show tonight, guys. I'm very, very sorry. I've got a lot of work I got to get done, but also I'm going to take care of the wife and stuff like that. We're going to chill out. I will be back tomorrow. I believe I have a guest tomorrow night, so we'll probably do a full hour and a half, but I just wanted to pop on, make sure everybody understands like where we're at. I mean, I've talked to Mark about this, where we're at. I'm happy with all these things, but I'm telling you right now, he needs the RFK. He needs RFK in his cabinet, period. It will not sit well with a lot of people if not. So I hope all of you have a great day. We will be back for evening rants tomorrow, a full probably hour and a half. God damn.
The Outright Bar is back in stock. So here's what we did. As you know, the bar is the best when it's the freshest. So what we did, we ran out of all inventory and we are bringing them back. 3 to 4 bar flavors at a time, week after week after week after week. If you go to the Outright Bar page on tigerfitness.com, it has the dates listed to when your favorite Outright Bar is back in stock. So go to tigerfitness.com now and stock up on your favorite Outright Bar.